Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a custom 5v5, yep, those are 5 players per team, on the map Wander Less Open Ultimate. It's not your normal Wander, not your normal open Wander, we have a less open Wander. I guess that is worth, and just that you get a bunch of hills throughout the middle, make splitting up the lanes a bit. Anyway, we have Team 1 up in the north, Team 2 down the south, and let's introduce the players. Let's start on the easternmost slot for Team 1, going in the Slime Green. As a Seraphim and opening first land, we have Solon. I think I will just refer to them as Psy, because Solon is, even though I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, is still a bit weird for me to pronounce, because, I don't know, pronouncing the letter X is always weird in words for me. Anyway, to the east, not to the east, to the west of that, in white, going Cypern and opening first land, we have Nomander. Then to the northwest of that, in burgundy red, going Aeon, opening first air, in the air slot we have Grommet. Then to the south of that, in blue, going UEF and opening first land, we have Thrashy. And the last player for the northern team, to the southwest of that, in orange, going Aeon and opening first land, we have Ocean Cabbage. Yeah, that is what that name says. Just had to make sure. Now, for Team 2, on their westernmost slot in the south, in this, well, greenish-grey, this very dark color, we have Han Solo, going UEF and opening first land. Now, to the northeast of that, in this fecal brown, going Seraphim and opening first land, we have Nuggets. Then, to the southeast, in Cyan, going UEF and opening first air, we have 1-0 Cat. Not sure I will refer to them, maybe as 1-0, maybe as Cat, maybe as 1-0 Cat. Not sure. Anyway, to the north of that, in pink, going Aeon, opening first and second land, we have Fong. And last but not least, in dark green, going going Cybran, and already moving the commander up front, opening first land, we have First One to Die. Let's see about that. Now, about the map, I don't think I ever played or featured Wander Less Open Ultimate. Not sure if I featured the normal Wander, I know that I definitely played it, but while looking at this map, quite a bunch of reclaim, with 32,000 still remaining. Let's see, already around 4k grabbed by the players, so we're looking at around 36,000 reclaim on the map. Quite a bit to go around, that's quite a few maxes, and this only being a 10 by 10k map, that is a very large amount of reclaim to go around. Most notably, you get a bunch of these patches in the middle, with some more reclaim spots in them, these craters. That's also a feature of the normal Wander, and I'm pretty sure also the open Wander. And ACU's already in the area grabbing those, with Nuggets, I think trying to get a bunch of the reclaim out of this pool that was already approached by Thrashy. Now, thing that I should probably point out rating-wise is that we have a very wide spread here, with the lowest rated player I think being Grommet at just 800, and the highest rated player being Nuggets at a whopping 2300, almost 3 times the rating of Grommet. Not quite, and of course they're also not up against each other. The second highest rated player being Nomander to balance out Nuggets, though they, I think we are looking at a sort of a mirror balance, since the players right here are crossed over with their respective ratings. If we look at First One to Die and Ocean Cabbage, that also lines up with that. Han Solo is a bit higher rated, and yeah, Solon is also a bit higher rated. Now, First One to Die, very aggressive expansion with that ACU. Getting out here quite early, grabbing the maxes, queuing up some factories. But already getting flanked by some spam out from Psy, who's also getting gun. Well, First One to Die is not. Very ballsy play. The other thing, they do seem to be outspammed at this moment, so not a great spot to be at. Because being outspammed and up against gun ACU without having gun ACU yourself is really, really problematic. Small run by out from Nomander kills off... Well, it doesn't kill off an engineer, not an engineer max, because I think these engineers were there in time to repair that to prevent it, but almost killing off one. Run by up here now from Psy. Getting a few entries. And possibly getting a max, as the Cyber Max are not very tanky, but there are some Mantas moving up behind, trying to take those out, and that does prevent this max from going down. Probably also going to prevent this one from going down, but yeah, I don't think those FAMs will end up doing too much damage here. Now in the meantime, in the middle, a bit of an ACU fight between the ACUs of Thrashy, Nuggets and Fong. Fong already with a gun upgrade, I think that is gun range, did not pay too much attention, but I think that's the correct arm for that, though. Let me just... yeah, that's the right arm, I think that should be the range upgrade, also the fire rate is not increased, so... yeah, and this ACU for example wasn't firing back, so it has to be range. But ACU for Nomander also getting in there now. Nuggets already down into the yellow, but with the ACU of Fong coming in to support, I don't think that that will be too much of an issue right here. Thrashy apparently e-stalling a bit, asking for a bunch of E. And up here, gun upgrade for Psy has finished. Spam is now moving up to flank the position of First One to Die. That currently has I was about to say a singular Mantis, no, 2 Mantis in the area. How's the economy looking? Because that seems to be reducing rather slowly. No, the economy is fine, but, well, those Mantises will go down due to the gun ACU and the supporting army. And the ACU for First One to Die cannot run away, so I suspect that they may indeed be the first one to die. It's just a typical case of overexpansion because there was nothing to support the ACU in that position. But yes, ACU takes a bunch of fire from both Spam and ACU. Focuses down the Spam, as you should do, since that is going to go down faster than the ACU and you just need to get take those DPS out. The ACU does take, still continues to take fire down into the red, below 2k, below 1.5k, and below 1k. Still far in range of Psy's ACU and about to go down. There they go. First one to die, indeed being the first one to die. So staying true to their name, I guess. Now we have a gun upgrade coming out for Nomander. Thrashy currently not too interested in going gun, but instead almost missed that, getting a run by right here through the lines of Nuggets, who does have T2 and is quickly throwing up some T2BD now with the T2 entries that he already built up. Also already with a T2P gen. At around 8 minutes. Let's see, does Nomander have one of their own? No. They are currently still building one, also building up TMD. Is there one out for Nomander? No. I think I just called Thrashy Nomander. Well, that down here is Thrashy, also does not have the T2P gen, but neither does Nomander. So by the looks of it, Nuggets currently the furthest ahead in the T2 compartment. Also already starting to build up some T2PD to just secure some forward positions. Right here as well. Getting T2 on the ACU as well now. And retaking the maxes that they lost. Now a few T1 bombers coming out for 1-0 Cat. Though with Flag already coming out for Thrashy, that won't get too far, as Flag is super effective against T1 bombers, or general T1 AR spam. Due to causing large chunks of damage and also decent AoE, meaning that it also deals well with, or yeah, does deal well with bigger swarms. Though the bombers currently are not forming bigger swarms. T2BD very effective at just picking off the units that are trying to push in. Though there are now pillars coming in as well, those will be more of an issue. And after getting T2, Nuggets immediately starts a gun upgrade. Which does, of course, finish. And right after that, also Tactical Missile. Interesting. You would usually expect Nano, but with the Tactical Missile you can, of course, cause a lot more damage. As you can just, well, penetrate deep into your enemy's lines, taking out important structures like mexes, or Pigeons, or possibly even HQs, and does just cause economic damage from pretty safe distances. Now in the north, there is T2 production out for Pfong that is currently pushing back Psy. Basically well, balancing out the early loss of First One to Die. Killing off the maxes up there as well. And I think those T2 units were actually Blazes and not Cypher and T2. Yeah, those are Blazes indeed. So not quite as tanky, well, what do I mean with not quite? Not really nearly as tanky as the Rhinos for the Cybran. But if I remember correctly, much higher range, higher mobility due to being hover, and that's just generally good raiding units. And I think basically same DPS. Or well, maybe not exactly the same, but similar. Now down here, Nuggets tangles with the AC of Freshie. Gets off a nice tactical missile launch, I think. Taking out about half of the HP of Freshie's ACU. Missile about to load again. Freshie is pulling back, but the missile is loaded once again, and let's see. There is the missile queued, it flies, and it hits the target. There goes Freshie. With a very nice tactical missile snipe. Now, the big thing here is this might seem a bit overpowered, but you have to take into account that the missile launches or flies exactly to where you aim it. It does not lead to account for any moving targets, meaning that you will have to lead manually when targeting it, which can be very hard, and if your opponent actually moves with the ACU in something that isn't a straight line, that becomes infinitely more difficult. So it is balanced, it's just you gotta be prepared for it to deal with it, I guess. Now, there's also tactical missiles flying out for Han Solo. They don't have that on their ACU though. I think they might have had a Aloha launcher in this firebase of them that just got overrun. Never mind, it's right here. Aloha's flying into the base of Ocean Cabbage, taking out economic structures. With 42 maxes already being lost, though I'm pretty sure one of those was due to the missile on Nuggets ACU. Last one also goes down. And that's 5 T2 maxes. That's really, really painful. And that will cause or provide a massive advantage to Han Solo in the long term. As with that, the economy for Ocean Cabbage is basically completely crippled now. Being down to a very paltry 17 mass income, as you just saw. That is not really what you want to see. Now, in the meantime, Pfong now utilizing their commander to push up north against Psy, maybe trying to get retribution for their dead teammate. Also no advanced range on the ACU, interestingly enough, no gun speed. I guess not too interested in getting the higher rate of fire, just wanting to use the high range to cut some costs. And with advanced gun range, the big thing is that you outrange any direct fire unit, or most direct fire units at the tier that you would utilize it, making it pretty amazing at dealing with most stuff. Big thing that does still range it, of course, is the T2PV, because, well, it's kind of intended to also counter gun ACUs and just general Tier 1 armies. That would be undermined quite a bit if you could just easily counter that with with the gun range. But while that ACU is pushing quite aggressively, there's also a small force or small army putting in some aggression against the AC of Normander that does have gun and stealth, and also started building up a sizable force of Vipers, and is now also getting up some Cerberus turrets to defend. The Viper being a very, very good tactical missile launcher, though now dealing with a bunch of volcanoes coming out from Fong that will protect at least the more important stuff. As the big thing with the volcano is that it does not kill the missile but just redirects it. Though it does also deal some damage to the missile in order to deal with the non-redirectable missiles like the bullet nuke for the UEF ACU. Which is very sad that those cannot be redirected, because that would be very hilarious or very funny if it could, but that was sadly removed due to balance reasons. Though I would still say that the use of that is very situational for select few cases where it would work out, and in those cases it would be very funny. But the balance team, of course, always knows best when it comes to stuff like that. Now, we do see some T3 out for Normander as well, with some Perseverance coming out now. But also T3 Cyprans, so we do see some Loyalists. Would love to see some Bricks, because, well, I'm personally not a big fan of Loyalists. And there are Harbingers coming out for Fong as well, which do generally trade quite well into Loyalists, and also Titans. Basically the units that is, or one of the units that is a reason for the Percival to exist. But Fong does end up going down to Normander. Not sure what that just was, because I was not paying attention to that. Do we have something like tactical missile launchers out that I missed? Don't think so. But that looked like very spontaneous death. I'm confused. I should have paid more attention, I guess. Might have just been the MMLs. God damn it. Ah, no, there are actually two tactical missile launchers right here, so yeah, that was tactical missile snipe end. Oh, those are placed sneakily. Those are placed right adjacent to the necks, which of course does reduce the mass cost for the missiles. But more importantly, if you don't look too closely, you might not even notice that those are tactical missile launchers, because you might just expect those to be mass storages, because you see the mechs in the center, you see that there is stuff right next to it, you wouldn't assume that it's tactical missile launchers, you'd expect it to be mass storage. And maybe if you only have radar coverage, let's just take a look. Okay, they do know that those are tactical missile launchers, but, well, even in that case, it's even worse. Now, Normander at the same time starts a breakthrough in the middle against the base of all the stuff of Nuggets, who does also have T3 at this point, also Seraphim T3, not only the T3 inherited from Fong. But currently needs to be a bit more careful, I'd say, using that commander as aggressively against that stuff, though getting in a nice overcharge against one of these boss builds. So he probably has a whole bunch of E-storage to actually overcharge that much. Though I currently cannot find it. The north, in the meantime, missed it once again. Another ACU I just missed. Xylon actually died as well. To something. Didn't even see the death message. So, well, they dead. For whatever reason. Maybe there was some shenanigans moving up there from Nuggets, I don't know. But Nuggets still primarily at T2 still, and also still very ballsy with Commander, keeping that somewhat close to the front to utilize the missile. Keep that range up. In the meantime, Normander getting out a whole bunch of spearheads to just cause some more long range and, well, faster firing damage, as spearheads have some pretty decent range. And of course there are 3 missile volleys. But I think the situations are slowing down a bit, so let's take a short look if anyone is getting maybe some T4s up, some experimental units. I would expect both Normander and Nuggets to go for stuff like that, as they are both currently sitting on triple base. But did not see anything of the sorts from Normander, and Nuggets currently also seemingly not interested in going for any experimental units. In the meantime, mobile missile launchers getting quite deep by the looks of it, causing a lot of damage. Taking out a bunch of PD, Maxist, and that sort of stuff. While Nuggets also now producing his own bricks. Try and deal with the situation. Though I suspect that he lost his Cyprian land HQ because I can't see it anywhere. Possibly due to the missiles. On the west side, in the meantime, a big push out from Han Solo. Coming out with a bunch of Titans. And dealing with the tier 2 Obsidians. Which do generally do quite well against tier 3 due to their high alpha damage and high survivability. But, well, they aren't as mobile and have some pretty shitty range, meaning that, all in all, they still do have issues when tier 3 is microed properly. But Ocean Cabbage gets in there with the ACU to try and deal with that. And they do have the advanced gun range, gun speed, and shield on the ACU. Though it is only the normal shield, meaning that it does not have the that it's only 8k additional HP. But that's still more than enough to increase the survivability quite a bit. Tactical missile coming out from Han Solo. And that is going after some factories, taking out the production capabilities for Ocean Cabbage. And by the looks of it also about to take out the land HQ. One more hit and that does go down. Another missile flies in, and I'm pretty sure that land HQ will most likely go down, but no! That does just fly past the TMD, just in range, and thus the missile gets reflected. Well, not reflected, but deflected. It does not hit. That's the important part. Now, in the meantime, more spearheads that actually do cause quite a lot of damage if we look at the veterans here in Mascot of all of these. And, well, if we actually take a look at the range that those do have, that is a whole bunch of Maxes just sniped in this area. I count 5 Maxes that are currently dead, never mind, 6 Maxes. And also the ones up here. So I think 7 Maxes currently denied just by the spearheads in that middle position. The other big thing here being the fact that their position, that the supporting army also makes it very difficult for Nuggets to push in conjunction with those spearheads also just causing some withering damage into the army of Nuggets. Maybe not too accurate of fire, but accurate enough to cause some damage. Small run by up into the north, causing some annoyance to Normander, though you can see it, or you can tell that that is not the focus of anything right now, of neither Nuggets nor Normander, as the units up here are currently not microed too well. But that is to be expected with middle situation developing, and Nuggets... Okay, never mind, it's just repositioning. I was about to say, pushes up a bit north with their army, but not too far, so not too big of a deal. In the meantime, a bowl of restorers is starting to form. Not quite a death ball yet, or doomstack, but it has the potential to become very devastating very soon, as there are still more restorers coming in. And the ASF numbers for 1-0 cat don't look too large, with a lot of those also now going down just due to the Restorer AA. Restorers definitely deserving their name as AA gunships, almost completely wiping out the ASF for 1-0 cat on their own, but with the ASF for Gromit now also coming in to support that. So, due to that, air control now firmly in hand of the northern team, and, well, due to the restorers still being gunships, also that currently already being capitalized on, with those taking out the Cyprian production for nuggets. And if those do succeed, I think, yeah, if that stuff gets completely taken out, then the southern team will lose all access to their Cyprian tech. There's a bunch of Cyprian T1 energies left right here, but I'm not sure if Nuggets got any energies saved to build Cyprian tech in their main base. I don't think they did. So if that stuff does go down, then that will be the end of Cyprian tech for the southern team. And engineers are being focused down. I think that was all of the engineers, and now the HQ is taking some fire. No, that's now an engineer. Yep. And Solo on the western flank now starting to build up some Ravagers and now even some T2RT. Well, Western Front just becoming a becoming some sort of reinforced battle between two just unyielding positions, I guess. Well, is truly the definition of a Western Front, I guess. Something like that. In the meantime, Restorers continue to take out stuff here. Big push in the middle now happens out from Nuggets, maybe as a desperate attempt to put some pressure onto the center. However, these Harbingers actually do prove to be very effective in the end. Percival's do go down, and so does all the most of the T3 spam by the looks of it. And the mobile shield generators. The T2PD is now starting to take fire as well. There are bricks coming up to the front though. But just in time some mobile shields, never mind, those were no mobile shields for Nomander. I was supposed to say some mobile shields pop on to also give those Harbingers a bit more lifetime, but no. More loyalists now also coming in to support the bricks. But most of the PD base right here for Nomander has actually gone down now. And though looking at this currently constructing, I don't think Nomander will need that for too much longer, as there is a chicken building up. Also chicken coming building up for Nuggets, though I'm pretty that it's not nearly as far along, and thus will most likely finish later. And now that the firebasing for Han Solo has started, some spears have been redirected down to the south area, or well, western front, to try and take out both RT and Ravager fire, or Ravagers. But the artillery does fire back, and well, T2RT is rather effective in taking out tactical missile launchers. It's just also very expensive. Counter miasmas building up for ocean cabbage, starting up some counter artillery fire. That will definitely make it harder to keep this position defended, especially because miasmas are very good at breaking shields due to causing damage over time. And the way shields work is that, or the regeneration shields work is that they have a cooldown period after taking damage that they have to wait until they can regen, making any damage over time kind of weapon very effective against shields. Chicken seemingly finishes for Nomander, and yes, there is pushing up, and also pushing up with a Deceiver, meaning that that will not show up on radar, or at least most of the spores will not show up on radar. If you look at it, the orange range rings you can see basically show the range of the stealth units, or the stealth fields, meaning that anything in that is completely invisible on normal radar. Wrong team. So if you look at that, They do not know that there's chicken from the firing patterns, but since they can't really get any proper air coverage overhead due to the AA in the area or in that army, they are basically blind when it comes to that attacking army. Now, does break through, takes out a bunch of the Aeon production capabilities of Nuggets, including the Aeon HQ. A bunch of Harbingers are built up, but those are built up very desperately. The chicken for Nuggets does move in now, and gets in a bunch of fire, but the one for Normander is already very close to rank of veterancy, and there it is, it already wetted, making it a lot more tanky, though it is currently not focused down onto the chicken of Nuggets, meaning that it will most likely still lose in a fight due to not being able to get most of its guns to bear. But at the same time, due to pushing for the air grid of 1-0 Cat, it would be very much possible that it does succeed in taking that out. But never mind, it redirects, taking on the chicken from Nuggets. Also, with the larger supporting army, that will probably go in favor of the chicken for Normander, though turns out Han Solo also was able to build up a chicken. I guess they were gifted some Seraphim tech to build that. And that was actually enough to keep that area defended for now. Both chickens for Nuggets and Normander go down, but that is definitely firmly in the area of Nuggets, meaning that they can just reclaim that as soon as lightning storms pass. Though the victory right here is still a sizable force of, well, a small force, let's call it a small force, of T3 pushing in from both north and west. Well, north and northwest. In one of the forces we also see a trebuchet T3 mobile artillery, which, well, is rather good at taking out defenses. Now, Han Solo did go for a Fat Boy, and is also firing down into the army from Normander that is sent onto the flank of Han Solo, and is effectively just taking that out now due to its long range fire. Bunch of pulses go down right there. Nuggets with whopping 22k masked on that ACU, and also launching missiles to start help taking out the stuff up here. Sadly, that's not lead enough with this, as the army for Normander does retreat. And with that, not too great. Now, big wave of Restorers pushes into the backline of 1-0 Cat, but at the same time, bunch of broadswords lock onto the ACU of Ocean Cabbage, who is already down on their shield, taking a lot of fire. There is currently no proper ASF response, and thus the ACU for Ocean Cabbage does go down to a gunship snap out from 1-0 Cat. At the same time, one max and a bit of power reduction in the back does go down for 1-0 Cat, though honestly not that bad of a trade, and a bunch of SAM batteries are also building up in the main base for the Cyan air player. Meaning that that air grid will at least be safe from the Restorer Swarm, most likely. However, the same thing cannot be said for Han Solo, as those Restorers just move on west, grabbing a bunch of maxes there. Few singular ASF go in for 1-0 Cat, but the problem here being that these Restorers are very good at killing ASF. A few Cougars in the area do take their fire in there, but the SAMs put up here of course are not in range. Well, the SAMs protecting the ASU for Han Solo, however, are definitely in range. And, well, with a bunch of Cougars in the area, there's at least something taking on these Restorers. And the SAMs are also now moving in a bit closer. And yeah, there was definitely some Seraphim tech gifted over, because, yeah, right here we have the Seraphim ACU, not ACU, NG, and a bunch of Seraphim T3AA now being built. Most notably, not SAMs, because Seraphim does not get SAMs. Seraphim does not have anti-air missiles. They just get sort of, I think it's kind of super flag, like with a small AoE bubble but very fast projectiles and very high damage. Now we have two fat boys pushing out for Han Solo against the base that once belonged to Ocean Cabbage, now held by Nomander. And surprisingly, as Nomander is a tarot-rated player and this is played a full share, did not specifically point this out earlier when players died, but considering the fact that the bases did get gifted over, I think that is pretty obvious that it is played with full share. Now, fat boys for Han Solo do retreat. The chicken for Nuggets does go down just due to a superior army and a chicken and a GC. Artillery on, right here still fires down onto the fat boys. One does go down due to the chicken. Last one, remaining one, also fires down, continues to fire down onto the chicken, providing support for a chicken coming out from Nuggets, which does successfully take out the chicken for Nomander right here, and continues to fire down into the GC for Pyramid. That is continuing to take some fire from the fat boy. That is now also locking onto the artillery right here with its other guns. Well, it was for just a second. But fat boy does take out the chicken for Nuggets. Another chicken moves in for Han Solo. And the GC decides to pull back due to just, well, being outgunned by the fat boy for the moment, due to the fat boy's superior range. Allowing that fat boy to leave. But it's definitely good to see the fat boy being used correctly, as it is definitely kept at range, and I pointed that out many times in previous casts. The very good thing about the fat boy is definitely its range and DPS on that. Its HP, however, are completely abysmal, meaning that it does not do well in any kind of brawl situation. Due to that, the shield will keep it safe from artillery for a bit, but that's the other big weakness. It does not outrange T2 RT, meaning that, well, you still need to be careful with that. You can still defend against it, but if you see a base without that stuff, will just cause damage. Look up guy gets award for worst advice possible in the situation. What? Do you mean the stuff coming out from Psy making Razzakus and creating a nuke? Yeah, being pushed, building a nuke while being pushed is definitely a horrible situation, or horrible idea, because a nuke will not protect you from a push. When being pushed, you definitely want to just get stuff to defend against a push. But thanks for pointing it out, Boomstick. No, not Boomstick, sorry, Boom Mistaken, or WTF, Boom Mistaken, something like that. I'm sorry, I have a hard time with names. But another fat boy does move up to the front for Han Solo, continuing to fire down into the collecting experimentals for Nomander. Also another chicken for Nuggets reaches the front line. So currently I would put my money onto the defense or the force for current... okay, just Boom. Okay. I would put my money onto the units of just the Southern team in this situation with the two fat boys and, well, one moment ago 2 chickens, though Nuggets does decide to push in with those, or with theirs, while the chicken for Han Solo stays back for a moment. Fat boys do continue to retreat, as they should in this, with this. And that, I'm not sure, I think this chicken will most likely go down to the GC fire. Never mind, it won't, but it's very close. It will, however, definitely go down to the other chicken. And but the fat boy fire will probably also take out this chicken in the process. If it actually hits. Same time, another chicken moving in here. And let's see. I think I missed a big air fight. I saw it for a moment on the minimap, but it seems like Southern team actually won air now. Possibly due to the heavy gunship focus from Grommet just being countered by large numbers of ASF, as those are just fast to produce. Or maybe also just Grommet stopping the production of ASF for a moment, maybe to build some experimentals, or to run that quantum gateway, to just scale up the eco even more. And would you look at that, Inu coming out from Nomanda. Now, they are 2k rated, they probably do know what they are doing, but still not sure if this is the play. Saying this, the only SMD I can currently spot is the one in the base of 10 cat, so if that is allowed to load and does not get scouted, on that note, is it scouted? Not right now. And I don't think there have been many scouts flying overhead. Well, if that is allowed to load, that could cause massive damage. But that is a very big if, since we are currently looking at, once again, 2 chickens and now 3 fat boys pushing. And not a lot of T2RT in terms of defense to help out against the fat boys, meaning that those can just, well, slowly creep inwards, causing large amounts of damage as they get closer. There is a Maglev out here for Nomanda, but the large number of fat boys will quickly just completely annihilate that, and the HP on it will just completely melt, as you can already see. It's losing so much HP just due to the fat boy fire, and those are already retreating. It is getting microed backward to stay alive a bit more and to stay at range, especially with the chicken right here moving in as well, bringing in additional damage. Chicken right here for Nuggets is pulling back. But that Maglev will just go down to fat boy fire now. Though a bunch of the Seraphim T3 mobile shields do delay that for a moment, but there it goes. EA not doing too great of a job to defend against that. Let's see, do we get any more fat boys coming up? And yes, there is another one right here. And would you look at that, also a Wasa. And with, well, honestly I think air control is very indecisive, which I think it can be blamed on the relatively low-rated players taking over air, with Grommet at 800 and 10 cat at 900, meaning that air just constantly switches hands. But I mean, it does kind of balance out in the end, I guess. And I'm pretty sure that air control was in the hand of the Safran team when that Wasa started. Now, big thing to look at here is that there is now a push of a chicken and supporting T3 army out from Nomanda. However, Nuggets does have a counter chicken, and there is a bunch of broadswords coming on for 10 cat, meaning that that push will probably completely die before causing too much damage. It does kill off a few maxes right here and destabilizes that front, but at the same time the main base of Grommet is now under very large threat, taking fire from a fat boy, or from the fat boys, also with that chicken right in it. Cloaking coming out from Nomanda. The chicken that was pushing in did die to the GC, but Nomanda was very close to that lightning storm, and Northern team recoils because, well, as already pointed out just a second ago, that lightning storm was very close, so it would have probably latched onto the ACU, taking that out, since the lightning storm does deal an incredible amount of damage to ACUs. And with that, a Southern team does end up winning. And yeah, building that nuke was probably a mistake, because we're looking at a just over halfway loaded nuke. And right, I think I can relate to this decision a bit more, going for the nuke while winning, especially from the air player that I think might have had one of the biggest decos in this situation, and was practically safe in the moment. In this situation it does work, though still not the best call, since you could go for experimentals and stuff like that that can be used immediately to take out the opponent, instead of any type of standoff technology like nukes. But it didn't matter in the end. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. This was streamed live on Twitch. Link that will be, as per always, down in the description. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, or don't, can't force you. Or subscribe if you want to be notified when more videos like these do come out eventually, and there will be of course more of these. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you again in the future cast, and until then, bye!